I really fell into photography, my love anyway, when I went on holiday, or travelling really, to Southeast Asia. And I think that was it. That was the moment that I kind of found a hobby anyway. So in 2013, Harry arrived, and I started taking lots of photographs of him. Lots of friends started to notice the photographs I was taking and started to ask me, would you consider taking photographs of our family as well? I had a little niche, I suppose, a little way of capturing families, and that was when I decided to take my hobby and turn it into a career. The moment Harry was born, within the first week, I could see how much he was changing. His hands grew, his feet grew, his little romper suits were already getting too small. One day he was rolling, the next day he was crawling, and it was that I wanted to capture. I wanted them to have like a little time capsule so they could just relive that one morning or that one day. So my style of photography is quite a niche style of photography. Initially, when I first started, I was working for friends and I did those photo shoots for free, just to build up my portfolio, to get an idea of what I really wanted to do. And as I said, I quite quickly realised that the very traditional portraits was not an avenue I wanted to go down. I much preferred the natural in-home documentary style, but that's quite a niche product at the moment. There's not many people who are doing that, particularly in the UK. In America it's really, really popular. In Australia it's growing, but in the UK there's a few people down in the south, but there's certainly not many people in the north. So I found early on that it was going to be like an education process. I had to make people understand that they could still have lovely photographs taken of all of their family, not just, you know, the child or their activity they're doing, but they could actually have a nice group photo at home, that it wasn't gonna make their house look messy, or they didn't have to worry about their hair. And you know, it was quite difficult to be honest. And my company's only been launched now for a year, and I would say it's only been in the last 6 months that people are starting to get it. So I'm having to educate people. I'm writing blog posts all the time, trying to say to them, you know, you don't have to just go for a walk in your local park. I can come round and I can photograph everything from you getting your kids up in the morning to putting them to bed at night, bath time, baking, you know, the things that you love. That's what we should be photographing. But it is hard, you know, there's some people who are like, no, I don't want to go down that route. I do want to stand in a park and say cheese, and that's fine. Then there's lots of really good, talented photographers out there who do that. But my complete passion is about capturing a moment and, you know, giving somebody a gift of a memory. I'm thinking about, not so much when you look at the photographs today, I'm thinking about when your children's children look at the photographs. I want them to be able to know not just what you looked like, but who you were, all through photography and film as well.
Oh, Sally, get off the ball! Push! Can you push, quick! Push!
Where are you off to, Casey?
See lots of bits missing.
Flash.
Where's the soil?
That didn't work.
Would you mind going a bit? Right. Now then. We met through baby massage. We went to the same baby massage class when the kids were 4 or 5 months old.
Oh, and did you know about Claire's business and wanted to?
Not at the time. I think that came the following year that came along, where she said she wanted to start a business with photography, and then. Claire did a session with us back in, I think it was April 20...
Last year?
It was just last year, so about a year and a half ago. Be careful, Casey. Remember, not all branches are strong.
Maybe in about 5 years' time, most people will be expecting to get film and imagery, especially from weddings. So I think if you're a wedding photographer in particular who doesn't offer film and pictures, you might not be as sought after as someone who just offers pictures. It's starting to become more and more popular now that photographers are learning more about film. It's a lovely little spot, isn't it? It's a nice part of the world.
So my number one goal with any shoot that I do is I want people to have a story at the end of it. So whether I go around to somebody's house for just an hour or whether it's an entire day or even longer, I want people to come away with this package of like a time capsule really, a gift of memories. The best story, I think, is when I arrive just before the kids wake up and then I stay all the way through until when they go to bed. So you've got potentially 400 photographs plus a film as well. And the film, I think, really balances with the photographs because it, you know, not only shows what people look like, but there's little things that kids do in particular, the way they walk, the way they giggle, the way they smile. You know, that little bit of added movement really, I think, helps to tell the story. My number one goal is to always make people cry. I know that sounds cruel in a way, but if I get a message from a mum or a dad afterwards saying, you know, I had tears in my eyes, I know I've done a good job. With documentary photography, because it is very new, it is a case of educating people because nobody's really thought about having family photo sessions done in such a way where you just have somebody kind of follow you around like a fly on the wall all day. And a lot of people think their lives are boring. This is the thing, and no one's lives are boring. Yes, you might just be at home, sat on the sofa for an hour watching television, but actually a lot will happen during that time when you're sat on the sofa with your kids. You know, you might be breastfeeding your child, you might have the other kids like clambering all over you, and then dad's trying to wrestle the toddler off so you can breastfeed the other child, and then they're playing together, and then there might be a quiet moment where you're watching the telly. Then there'll be some chocolate all over the place, or you know, there's like a whole story just in an hour sat on the sofa. So no one's lives are boring, but all of those moments are also quite forgettable. So people don't necessarily realise what can be captured, and it is a case of people getting the photographs back and going, oh yeah, look at that, how lovely that is. I don't think you've ever seen what's in here. No.
We also thought this is quite noisy if you turn it up, so it will really annoy Daddy.
The lovely thing about documentary photography is it doesn't just have to stay within the family genre, it can be applied to anything. So for the future of my business, I'm looking to expand to 100% documentary weddings. I think there's a call for that. But what I really would like to do is start working with small businesses, people who work with their hands in particular, like craftsmen, jewellery makers, bakers. I'd love to be able to go into their places of work and start to tell their stories, to enable them to have films perhaps that they share on Facebook or Instagram, just to be able to show people really how intricate their work is and really get into the detail instead of them just showing a photograph of the product, actually how they make it.
Then we have
What did you say?
Yeah, it's hard, but I love it.